Let's talk about what I'm going to play next because this is not okay.
This is real or not. She danced with the dog and sang a song. I don't recall. I'm so lost inside my mind. No one answers when I ring. Was it real or just a lie? Can I tell you what happened? Pretty much at 4 a.m. something happened. Pretty much.
Everyone is super nice.
It's actually really good melody.
No, it is. It's actually such a good melody.
On top of it's catchy.
I want to play that in my car.
Holly, do you mind sending me the name and timestamp of this? I want to go back and listen to this again.
Okay, that was a parody song that somebody used AI to write about Dylan and then sent it to Birdie, and Birdie played it on his show, and then it made its way to a group of the TikTok, I call them desperate Conspirawives, because they are big conspiracy theorists, and they think Dylan was involved, and they've got a hard-on for her and Bethany, and it's just disgusting. But imagine being so horrible of a person that you would write a parody song about the worst day of somebody's life when 4 of their friends were brutally murdered after somebody broke into their house, and then the people replaying it that are laughing while listening to it. Like, how horrible of a life must you have that it makes you feel better to laugh about what happened to Dylan? Okay? Parodies are not for things like quad murders. Yes, I do parodies. I've done parody AI songs. I just did a parody video about Sam Darnold throwing 4 interceptions. Okay, that's a football game. Quadruple homicides, home invasions, etc. Crimes are not something you write AI songs about, parody songs about. And they're not something you laugh about. And all of you were on your high horse last night that Dylan somehow did something wrong and that she should be arrested. And I've said it before, I will say it again, unless you've been in that exact same situation, you are lying if you say you know how you would handle yourself. You are lying. You can't sit there and say, oh, I would have called 911 or I would have done this or I would have done that, because until you're in the situation, you don't know. Okay? You don't know. Also, if I hear one more time from one of you that inmate 163214 couldn't have committed this crime because he's a skinny, scrawny looking guy, homeboy's a long distance runner. He would jog. He would hike. He would jog miles, 3-4 miles or more. Do you know what kind of stamina long distance runners have? And yes, they look thin, but it doesn't mean they're unathletic, and it doesn't mean they don't have stamina. And when you have a K-bar knife, the only thing that's going to equalize against that is going to be a firearm. Okay, you're not going to overtake somebody with a K-bar knife. There's been several stabbings, massacres with that type of knife. And just look at Danny Rolling at University of Florida years ago. So just stop the nonsense that somebody that looks like inmate 163214 couldn't have committed the murders. Ted Bundy wasn't a very muscular man. A lot of your serial killers were not. Also, as far as Dylan being left untouched, Ted Bundy in the Chi Omega house went down the stairway past a sorority woman and didn't harm her. And she later testified at trial. And just like Dylan, they tried to discredit her because she only saw Bundy for a few moments. But he didn't harm her. It's just because Dylan was left untouched doesn't mean she was involved. And yes, it's happened before where a murderer hasn't killed everybody in the house. And it doesn't mean they knew the person. And a lot of times there's no connection between murderers like this. They don't know their victims ahead of time. They're usually not connected to them. So you guys claim you read the documents, but you really don't. Or if you're reading them, you're not understanding what they're saying. And also in the year 2025, how are we not having a fundamental understanding of trauma and trauma response? How are we not understanding that victims remember things in bits and pieces? And no, Dylan didn't change her story. Her story has stayed consistent. Go back and look at people that changed their stories during police interviews, like that actually changed their stories, and you'll see the difference. She was remembering things as her memory was coming back in bits and pieces. That is what a traumatized eyewitness is like. And it's just sad that you guys do not want to listen to actual experts. 5 agencies worked on this case. 5 agencies. A medical examiner in Spokane as well. These people have way more expertise than you and I will ever have. And it's hilarious that you think you know more than FBI agents or a trained medical examiner. Do better.